happened about 2 weeks ago, just before the president, just around the time we were going to get a visit. There were queues.
Yes.
Queues disappear. Queues pop up every now and then. What accounts for the queues?
Well, generally, queues would occur when there is a perceived shortfall in the market.
Perceived shortfall.
Perceived, yes.
Doesn't have to be a shortfall.
It could be a shortfall, but it could
but
also...
the perception can also create it.
Yes, and queues could also appear when people decide not to sell products. And you know, when it's coming towards the time we announce the prices, sometimes you go to a filling station and they tell you there's no petrol.
They're waiting for the new price so they can make some more.
There's speculation, when people speculate. But this particular one was caused by shortage of petroleum products. And shortages of petroleum products come about. It could be that we couldn't get vessels in. It could be that we couldn't get letters of credit established.
No, I mean in this specific case. I didn't want you to speculate. I'm saying what was the reason in this specific case?
In this specific case, there were two factors. The number one factor was as you know, we're importing all the products into the country. The Tema Oil Refinery hasn't refined for commercial production this year. It's just refined to get the plant back. It has undergone a major maintenance. So we've relied on the bulk trading companies to import products into the country. They have been doing a good job, and they continue doing a good job. And we work with them. We manage the stock levels all in the country to ensure that when there is a shortfall, we can go into the market to bring emergency cargoes. And this is what we did. We also have a strategic stock reserve, which is managed by BOST. And we released those into the country because the suppliers could not get letters of credit established. And also, we also had...
That's where the difficulty starts.
That's what, yes, starts. And then it was compounded by the fact that we had bad weather. If you remember, somewhere in June, around June 20th, we had very bad weather in the country. And it affected the swells on the sea. You see, our product is pumped from an installation, which is about 6 kilometers, about 4.5
on the ocean.
Miles. In the ocean, yes.
In the ocean.
Absolutely.
And it's pumped
all the way into the tanks, either Tema Oil Refinery, APD, or one of the bulk distribution tanks where we have. And there were swells, and the mooring company, the company that manages the station, lets us know whether it's operable or not operable. And
so it's a natural cause. I mean, essentially what you're saying
is that
there was
an act of God.
Yeah,
that was also the cause, because what that did was, because we're bringing in about 8 ships a month, and each one takes about 3-4 days to discharge, load, more, discharge, on more. And as such, if you have 6 to 8 days of bad weather and you can't bring it in, you have a backlog of ships.
But you've got stock. You say you've
That's
got...
why we released the stock.
But I'm saying is, why was that stock not released to prevent...
It was.
From,
it
but
was
there were
released.
queues.
We released... The ship was supposed to come in on the 18th of June. We released the stocks towards the end of June.
So you released the stocks late?
No, we didn't release the stocks late. Though we had some stock. It was a strategic stock we released late. But what happened was that strategic stock finished, and that vessel couldn't come in. The vessel couldn't come in not because of the swells, but because there was another vessel discharging. And the vessel was discharging diesel, gas oil. And when it came into this vessel's time, the suppliers' letters of credit could not be established. Yeah. And that is what caused the delay. It took us 4 days to get their letters of credit established.
How often do we get tankers coming into this discharge?
We do about 8 discharges a month.
So I just want to get a sense of something. So assuming that there were no discharges for whatever reason, such as this, how long would we survive?
We normally keep stocks. We should normally keep stocks 4 to 6 weeks. But it's very expensive.
But that's tight business. You mean within a month you'll be in trouble?
No, because there are vessels, we call them floating storage, right outside our coast.
Sitting on the ocean?
Just sitting.
Selling petrol?
Selling. It's a business.
You mean that?
Yes, that's what they do. And you just take vessels there and load.
So what is the need for Tema Oil Refinery?
Tema Oil Refinery is important because having a refinery is a business. They do make money. And it's also, if we expand the refinery, we could sell products to neighboring countries, for example.
Finished products.
Finished products. And then that will be a business decision.
In a competitive sense? I mean, since the market is open and people can bring finished products in,
yes.
Could we be competitive?
Yes, I mean, Tamale Refinery does have some competitive advantages. Our supply of crude oil is close by, it's Nigeria, and guess what? It'll be closer by soon.
Absolutely.
So we have a cheaper source.
Oil.
A cheaper source because freight is quite expensive. So we have a cheaper source in terms of the freight. But you will be buying the crude oil at market prices.
But I don't understand that. I mean, you just said it. If our oil is down the road from here, I mean, why should that not make it possible?
For example,
for things to be cheaper and better.
It will be cheaper. The freight will be cheaper. But the cost of the oil at the wellhead will be the same for somebody buying it in Ghana or somebody buying it to take it to America. But the cost of freight will be higher for the person to take it to America.
But that's fine. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is we understand that there's a particular price we can't do anything with. But that's not the whole price. Then there's a range of other things. So I'm saying, is it possible that because now we have our own, we'll have, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, our own source of crude, I mean, given the Jubilee oil fields and so on, can that not translate into some relief?
It can translate, but it wouldn't be from the cost of the oil. It will be from the revenue government gets from all of this. And government can then decide that it can remove all the taxes that it has put in the price buildup. Okay? Government could even go further to say, I would even subsidize by first removing the taxes and even, pay the oil importers or the refinery to reduce the price further. Whether that is the right decision
is another
matter because we have schools, we have roads to fix, everything. Why should they subsidize, the price of petrol for you and I?
Precisely.
So, I mean, that is these are considerations which are a little outside my scope.
Yeah. I want to turn my attention now to the emerging oil and gas industry. In your view, what does this mean for Ghana?
It opens a lot of opportunities for us. We are going to have a lot of people working in the upstream sector. That means oil production, more exploration.
Ghanaians.
But we have to be prepared for it. We have to make sure we can train our people, our artisans.
You see, we always told this. So unless that is done, there's no Ghanaian involvement.
There would not be Ghanaian involvement
upstream
in certain very technical areas unless we have that expertise upstream.